Hello YouTube! So today is really the first video to this turbo series. Last video was just getting that supercharger off, getting everything out of the way, cleaning this thing up and preparing it for the B-Racing Turbo kit. And it is very similar to the last series. There will be a few different things. Wastegate placement's going to be different for sure. That's going to be the biggest thing, but a lot of the stuff is going to be the same thing. But I'll be showing you some other parts that you're able to buy now where you don't have to do all the welding and stuff like that. It is a little bit more expensive if you go that route, but it's so much faster. And hopefully we can see that on this build of how much faster it goes, because parts are already pre-made to fit and they're just bolt-on, which is what we all dream of. But some stuff isn't available, or we just don't want to spend the money. But trust me, it makes it so easy. It's almost worth it, really. Unless you're a pro at welding, go ahead. I'm just not. But we'll be doing the SPA turbo manifold. Oh, just told you guys. You guys probably already know it's going to be that manifold. Engine mount, oil pan for the turbo drain. That's kind of the crappy one you got to do when you go turbo. If you got to drain your oil somewhere, don't drain it into the drain plug. Please don't do that. This ain't my car. I don't want to break it. But we'll go ahead and get right into the video. Headers off, not showing much of that. I never do. You guys should know how to do that if you're wanting to turbo your car, or you've found a million other videos on YouTube just about removing headers. But shout out to this tool, best tool ever. A little expensive if you want the high torque ones, but haven't even broke this one loose yet. We're just gonna hit it. Oh no, that had to be a fluke, right? There it is. Show you these. They are in fact crusty. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 out the top, just using that ratchet, that impact ratchet. And all of them are off of this one here. And I think of 2 more, right? There's 16. All right, going ahead, removing this passenger side engine mount, not only for the headers, but this will not be going back in. This motor mount, engine mount, whatever you guys would like to call them, will be coming out, and you will be putting in the fancy bottom mount turbo one that has the little hoop in it for the intake pipe to the turbo. It also comes with a bushing. I'll be showing you guys that. Undid these bolts on the pan. I still got to remove the arm over there because the headers are just floating in there ready to be pulled out, and they're stuck on the engine arm. First you got to float your engine though before you can remove the arm, but you could use your pan. But I will be removing this pan and putting the new pan on, which I'll go show you in a minute, set up for the turbo with the oil drain on it for the turbo. And don't take advice from me. You can take some of it's fine, but this sketchy stuff here, like floating the whole engine off the AC compressor, you don't just sit here and be like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do that. No, this is crap that I do because I don't buy the right tools, and I do it all the time, and I don't know why. I need to buy the right tools. But I originally had it right here. I've done that before. I've had a little block cut out to fit this pulley, and you can float the engine off the pulley also and remove the pan, but we're gonna do this method. Where did I find this method? Is this considered a method? No, I'd probably not. I just do it. I don't know why. But got some of these bolts out. Cannot forget, I got to drain the oil out of this. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to remove these headers and engine mount. I should have been videoing that. I just took this engine mount bolt out the top and the bottom. When I removed the bottom one though, I've heard of this being a thing, but I've never had one do it. That is a first. So check your mounts or get the turbo one. It's not cast aluminum. So yeah, I've never actually witnessed that. That's a first. So to show you, we are floating out of the subframe there. Also, this car had really bad leaks on the headers. Like it sounded like an F-150. And you can see that middle one there was leaking. But these are legitimate gaskets. I feel like I need to record me working on stuff more, like actually me working on stuff, but it's kind of hard when, oh, see, I have one hand. I'm terrified right now because what's going to fall on my face first? I don't have another hand to defend myself. You know, just a quick piece of advice. Remove this engine out completely first. Don't be an idiot. Oh, okay, fall right out there. All right, it wouldn't focus, but it's like a 99152. I don't know what that means, but other than that, these just look like normal old eBay headers. So, yep, 2 bolts way up there. Couldn't get them because they do that fancy little twist and it blocks me from using my ratchet. So I'll have to use a wrench on those. Get this arm out of here. And remember, we're just floating off this 4x4 right now. Not smart. Got that out of there. Cooked. I don't know why. But that's a good solid mount bushing there. Won't be needing it anymore though. Oh, I love getting these headers out because it opens up so much room. And this side of the block always looks pretty on an M54 compared to the other side. Well, where's my wrench? Oh, there's another tag on that one. They just have numbers on them. There's not a brand on them. But gotta do this the caveman way with my little ratchet wrench. Oh gosh, come on. All right, last header out. Let's see what this tag says. 99-152. I don't know, guys. You have to tell me in the comments about that. There was another gnarly exhaust leak right here. And right there. Both middles were leaking. I don't know if these were warping or what. Last oil pan bolt in there. It's above the subframe though. Just like that. Best tool ever. Oh gosh. All right, so you see how much room we got. Everything's floating pretty good. I can show my whole arm under there. Wouldn't do that though, remember. It's held up by that. Everything's out. I gotta unplug that. But don't forget these. You don't wanna be that guy and fight your oil pan because you forgot about those. Or the ones that are up in there and over here. That should be all. I'm probably gonna have to hit this with a mallet. Wait, oh, don't hit it with a mallet yet. Sneaky guy right there. Another sneaky guy. You guys watching the video, did you just notice that? As I'm telling you, don't be the idiot to forget about these. Be right back. Okay, I got those 2 bolts out, pulled the dipstick tube out, and dropped the power steering pump out of the way because unfortunately, you may know this little bracket here will not let you get the pan off. You might be able to get the pan off, but you ain't gonna get one on very well with the gaskets. I don't remember if I had to drop the subframe down further. I might have to. I just have them ran out because if you take them all the way out, the subframe likes to jump back or whatever it does, and it sucks sometimes to line up. But may have to lower that a little bit more, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop this out. It acted like it really, yeah, it just wanted to come out already. Huh, that's nice, okay. Yeah, so I removed the 4 bolts over here and over here, and then I just had to loosen up one control arm, which you could get a longer bolt and put it in here to hold it in place because it's gonna push against the pan like this because the wheel wants to come backwards, so I'll probably do that. But obviously you got all the room in the world to pull the pan out now. Trying to do this with one hand. There it is. Hands out. There it is. I need to put a rag down. My shirt is currently the rag. It's gonna drip everywhere. Let's see what oil pump this has. It has fancy cams and had that supercharger and everything. So I've been wondering if someone addressed this. Nope, not at all. You know, I've had, oh, wrong way. That's good though. Man, this is low mile. Holy cow. Well, 150. I'm used to working on 220, 250. But that is tight. I have taken a pan off before where this is sitting in the oil pan. I have a video somewhere on YouTube of that. That was terrifying. But we're gonna do the Hell Rot Special. And oh my gosh, people could argue all day long on this, but dude isn't revving to the moon. It's a stock engine. And I've done it to every single engine I've ever ran, and I've never lost an oil pump nut. But all I do is I put a tack right here and a tack on the other end. I put a tack to the nut, to the sprocket. That way, if you ever need to take the nut off and for whatever reason, your pump is still fine, not welding it to the shaft. Everyone's like, if you weld the nut to the shaft, then you're gonna make the shaft weak. All it is the smallest tack in the world. I don't think it's gonna mess it up that much. And also everyone complains about it's gonna be super unbalanced. It's not. It's okay. If you track these and you're revving them out to 9,000 or whatever you got crazy dudes do, okay, get your fancy billet pump. But this is a stock pump. I've done it to all my cars. Never lost an oil pump nut. But this one's tight. Sometimes they're finger tight. Make sure you go the opposite way. So we're good there. Gonna go ahead and clean up one of these, put a tack on each side of it, and then put the fancy pan on. All right, so here's a 20-year-old oil pan next to the new one. Now that we got it out, that oil is dark. Holy crap, I need to get the rest of that out because I need to transfer that sensor over, the oil level sensor. But there's really no reason to even use your pan you're pulling anymore unless you want to spend however many hours cleaning it and then you got to weld on it and you're welding on 20-year-old oil covered aluminum, which ain't fun. So I've done it a couple times, but B Racing right here, new pan with the bung welded on. Let them know what turbo you're using and they will put it either above the drain or behind it further. It really depends on the size of your turbo. It puts it in different places. Fresh gasket on the oil pan. Put some RTD back here because, well, you got to think. You got your rear main back there, and you kind of, when you break the seal, it's a good idea. You don't have to. You don't have to do that. I just put it on my finger and rubbed it on there. I didn't put a bead or anything crazy. But before I put this in, notice how this oil drain for this turbo is above the baffle as high as you can get it. That's what you want, because if you've done any research on bottom mount turbos, they have issues with burning oil because the oil can't flow through it or drain into the pan quick enough. And another thing here is the angle on that. You want it angled as much as you can. You can't just come straight off. You got to remember how these engines are tilted, so that kind of gets confusing. But Jacob Rogers at B Racing Tunings, who makes these and makes a lot of the turbo kit parts, he knows what he's doing, and he did an absolute fantastic job on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this pan in the car. Getting those headers off and getting this pan swapped out for the oil drain and stuff like that is huge. Like, this is some of the biggest things when you go turbo. Once you knock this out, it's kind of just easy ride from there, to be honest. But go ahead and get this thing in. I would show you guys how to do all this and weld it in. I did that in my last video, so if you want to go watch that, I did show how I did this. I used the same fitting, but I used a original pan, and it's not very fun, and I'm not a very good TIG welder, but I did it. I didn't get as fancy as welding the inside like that, but just showing you guys this, because if you don't want to weld, you don't want to do it, and you want a fresh setup, B Racing Tuning. I'm going to keep plugging them. You want to know why? Because Jules is my boy, and so is Jacob, and so is Alex, and so is Rob, and so is all of them. They're all awesome. Oil pan is in. Everything fits great. It looks great. And now we have our turbo drain. I just have it resting on this stop right here. And yep, I have that one lined up. Good. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the turbo manifold I'll be using and installing that, and then after that is all in, I'll be putting in the engine mount over there. You guys probably already saw this coming, but yes, bottom mount SPAL turbo manifold from B Racing. The reason why I recommend these to people is, well, I've had mine for a while now. It's great, super compact. You can use AC still, keep AC, unlike most top mounts. You can still make it happen on some of them, but the price of these is great, and they're very durable. They're a cast log, obviously, and they're probably going to outlast most stainless manifolds. So that is a nice peace of mind. But this one is ceramic coated. The only downside about these is they're going to cap out at 700 horsepower or maybe 8. I don't know. You test that. You guys can test that. I'm tired of blowing up engines. But they'll also rust since they're cast. But you can get them ceramic coated from B Racing Tuning, which this one is. So it won't look ugly like the exhaust housing on you guys' turbos after one rain or one use. But it comes with the flange, which can't really see, it's in that bag, for the wastegate here, which will be getting used this time around. I'm not going to weld to the turbo this time around like last time, so that'll be a little different on this series compared to last time. Same deal here though, exhaust manifold nuts and studs, N54 I believe, but there's the part numbers. I'll put these links in the description. And then M50 I believe, best gaskets. Even if you're not going turbo, I'd recommend running these with eBay headers or anything. These are excellent. And then I'm pretty sure these are right. I had an issue on a video where the link that I had in there, they changed the listing but kept the same link and they were the wrong threads. I'm pretty sure these are M10 by 1.5. I'm gonna try these real quick and make sure they're even right. So yeah, they're M10 by 1.5. As you guys know, these studs are so great because you can put a socket on them and run them in. So just put this right here on my handy dandy ratchet and run all these new studs in. Obviously you don't have to double nut these like the M54 ones, and if you're reusing M54 ones, it's just not fun. Not fun. Just spend the money on these. They save so much time. So I'm going to go ahead and pop all these in and then get these gaskets out. I also need to see if I have any copper spray left. I'm going to probably copper spray these. Definitely, probably all these gaskets I'll copper spray, because ideally you want them to never leak. And this stuff, you know, unless you lift the head on your engine, shouldn't come off again. And the chances you lifting the head on the engine, you know, it's pretty good. Not gonna lie, pretty good, especially if you get greedy. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the copper spray anyways because, well, it makes me feel professional a little bit. And it works really good. It does work, okay? Just that little extra step. But I'm gonna go ahead and run these in and stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm not gonna talk to you guys for an hour and a half. That's not what kind of video these are. I'm not gonna do that. I know I've showed this to you guys before, but it's just so satisfying. If you've done this before, you know it sucks. I would hate to use studs without the ends on them like this because you have to double nut them, and this just takes, I don't know, 3 minutes to install these. All right, got all the studs in and the coated gaskets on there. Going to go ahead and throw the small manifold up there and bolt it up, and then I'll show you guys the engine mount for this car. Alrighty, there it is. Manifold is on. No, I'm not missing studs. The way they make these blocks is the later, I think it is the later M54s didn't have all those drilled out. Some of you guys will have 16, some of you guys will have them all, and that's just how it is. But 16 does work, it is plenty. Have boosted a car, same manifold with 16, no leaks. Here's the engine mount, same as always. Very solid mount. Probably a little too overkill, really, but we'll be using this on the bottom mount turbo setup. You use it on pretty well all bottom mount turbo setups. Got it from B Racing Tuning. Also, right here is this little threaded hole. That's your ground, obviously. I don't know if everyone knows that. Does everyone know that? I'm guessing everyone knows that. But that'll be your ground. And there's another hole over here, but it's not threaded. I don't know why that's there. But go ahead and get this in. One thing with this, the only thing different from the stock one is, I noticed if you use the stock bolts that go into the block, the 4 bolts here, they are just a hair too long. So they'll bottom out in the block before this actually gets tight. So just a little warning there. All you gotta do is cut the little ends off that aren't threaded, I think, and you're good. But I usually just go through my bolts bin of my poor E46s that are no longer with us. Save the bolts though, those are expensive. And I just find normal bolts without that. They have like I'll show you. So here's one right here. They just have this little nipple on the end. I don't know if that's like to help you, like a guide maybe, but that's what messes this up with this mount. You could also just simply add in 2 washers or something if you want, but I'm gonna go grab 4 different bolts that don't have that guide on the end and get this installed. It just works so good. And if this video gets posted, guess what? Nothing bad happened because, well, I'm still alive. It's not a big deal now that the subframe's all bolted back up and everything, and I don't have an engine floating over the top of my head. But, oh yeah, so much room in there. Man, that turbo manifold looks real good. If you look at these headlights, he has them gold, and then you peek up, and then it kind of just like matches in with the manifold. So that's kind of cool. No one's gonna notice that on the road, I know, but oh, I really like the slant I have on this 4x4 right now. That's cool. Another thing, the bushing for that engine mount, I've always noticed that the dowel pin on this side doesn't line up with the hole on the subframe where the stock dowel pin would go. So your best bet on this is to just go ahead and cut it off. It's not a big deal. I don't even know why that really has to be there because this bushing is the same all around. The studs are dead center. So just remember that if you're struggling, that's why. Look at that. It looks so good. I feel like that's pretty good progress for the first video of the series. New oil pan with our turbo drain. Addressed the oil pump nut issue. Got our fancy engine mount in here. And then new studs, new gaskets, new nuts, and our pretty sick looking B-Racing spa manifold. So, next video, yep, not showing you the turbo yet. I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Thankfully, fall is really close. Well, it's here, but the weather is really close. And you don't have to watch me sweat anymore, hopefully. But got some of the big pains in the butt out of the way today in this video. And I'm happy that the oil pan's done. I don't have to lift the engine anymore. And the manifold's on, the headers are off. It's just, this is the biggest step really to all this. The rest of it, I got yelled at in one of my past videos, my last series of this. It's not that hard. You guys got it. You just watch this. Just nuts and bolts. That's all it is. This is easy. Not a big deal. No like crazy special tools. Just go to Harbor Freight, spend $100 and you got your tools for this job, really. To be honest, I swear. But someone got really mad at me because I said I put easy in one of the titles, and they said that they were $2,000 deep and it's not easy. It's gonna cost some money. $2,000 ain't bad. That ain't bad. I wish I could build this car for $2,000. You know, you can't do that unless you're going CX racing. But this kit is proven reliable and it's solid setup. So you're probably gonna pay a little over $2,000. But thanks for watching, guys. Next video, we will be showing the turbo, dressing the turbo. You know, I don't know how to say that, cooling lines on it. So I'll be showing you guys cooling system. Got a lot of questions in my last series about cooling system, but I did show it in a video. So I guess I need to show more of that. And then I'll be showing the oil drain on the turbo, hopefully, and the oil feed. So that'll be next video. Let's see how fast we can build this car. And of course, doing it right. But I'm just gonna try to show you guys, anyone can do this. It's not a big deal. Yeah, you gotta spend some money, but do you want your car to be reliable or not? That's what it comes down to. So I'm done.